Yes, team, and welcome back to Winners and Losers, where we break down the latest and greatest Premier League action. Like I hinted in the last clip, this is going to be all things Erling Haaland after that 6-3 demolition of Manchester United at the Etihad, where he was the main player. He was just taking numbers, wasn't he? Even prior to this, he was a record breaker. Before this fixture, had more Premier League goals than Manchester United alone. Was the only player to score 11 Premier League goals in his first 7 games. Now that's 14 goals and 3 assists in Premier League play alone. Wow. Dukes, what do you make of his all-round performance as well as his general goal-scoring exploits?
Yeah, for sure, because I think you can focus on the goal-scoring. It is the headline. Obviously, he's got 3 hat-tricks now. I think that's level with Didier Drogba, Cristiano Ronaldo and Frank Lampard in Premier League history, which is pretty insane. But in terms of his all-round performance, I find it really interesting because everything he was sort of criticised for, everything people were worried about before him joining, you know, the injury record, he looks really fit, the ability in the air, he scored a great header today, the ability to link play, I actually thought his link-up play was really good today. So like all those myths, all those things people were worried about, all that nonsense people were spouting, has just been disproved in 8 games. He looks sensational, 14 goals, and it just doesn't show any signs of slowing up. The guy's an absolute freak, and I loved his performance today. That pass for that Foden goal in particular was De Bruyne-esque. Yeah. And I'd never thought we'd say that about a Haaland pass. Yeah,
his passing numbers have always been pretty mediocre. Like, where his numbers have popped, it's always concerned the chances he gets in the box, just basically 18 yards around the opposition's goal, right? But if he started to pass like that, then the rest of the league is in big trouble. Yeah. Joseph, what did you make of the composition of that front 3 then, if we're trying to focus on things other than just his goal-scoring exploits? Because Phil Foden and Jack Grealish, excellent supply lines for him today.
Yeah, tidy. It looks so fluid already, doesn't it? Obviously with him in that sort of out-and-out number 9 role, it allows Foden to pop passes off him, Grealish to pop passes off him. I think the best connection is probably between him and Kevin De Bruyne. I think Kevin De Bruyne already, being the vastly intelligent footballer that he is, knows exactly where Erling Haaland is on the pitch. I think you saw that for his second goal. The pass, only Kevin De Bruyne can make that pass, in my opinion, whipped in beyond the defender, and it kind of curls back in. And only Erling Haaland can reach that ball and finish that off in a manner like that. That connection is particularly worrying, like Kevin De Bruyne and Erling Haaland, because not only is it only 8 games into the season, but they've only known each other for like 3 months. Really? So like by the time we're 2 seasons in, we could be talking about absolute catastrophes all over the league. It could be a hat-trick every week. I mean, it was 3 consecutive home hat-tricks now.
First player to do so, yeah.
That's absolutely ridiculous. Seriously.
Yeah, the idea of the chemistry improving in that front 3-4 is quite concerning as a non-Manchester City fan. Dukes, what did you make about his father's comments that he might not be on British shores terrorising other Premier League teams for too long because he has ambitions to play in different countries?
Yeah, I mean, you never know the context things are said in. I didn't see the video, so it might have been sort of tongue-in-cheek, and it was pretty inflammatory. Like, if I was a City fan, I probably wouldn't be delighted to hear that, 8 Premier League games into his career. But at the same time, it's entirely accurate. I mean, the guy is 22. He could have 2 more mega money moves. He feels like a player that is going to play for Real Madrid one day. I just have that feeling. And he doesn't feel like a player that's going to be obsessed about breaking the Premier League all-time goal-scoring record, which he looks like he's very much on track to do.
He's on course to do it in 4 seasons, dude.
It's crazy. So someone like Kane feels much more motivated by that Premier League record. I can see Haaland getting at least 1 big move left in his career. And who would begrudge him a move to Real Madrid? It just feels like it is going to happen eventually. City should enjoy him while he can. But I'd be very surprised if it was this is 3-4 years down the road. City won't lose him anytime soon, so they've got plenty more time to enjoy him.
Yeah, exactly. Joseph, goal prediction then for the season. Is he going to finish as the top goal scorer? Seems like a bit of a moot point at this point.
So he's on 14 at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah. He is, yeah.
He's on 14 at the moment, but he's also picking up assists. I think that's 3 assists for the course of the season as well. So he's 17 goal and which is absolutely ridiculous. I think he's on course for 66 league goals this season, which... I mean, what on earth?
Dixie Dean levels.
Yeah, he's on course for 66 goals this season. I think he would break Alan Shearer's record in the 4th season of being here if that was to carry on at that rate. I don't think it's going to carry on at that rate. Yes, he's going to win the Golden Boot. I think he probably finishes on about 36 Premier League goals. I reckon between 35 and 40 Premier League goals. I'll go 36 Premier League goals, and he might get 10 Champions League goals as well this season. So I think he could be close to like 50, 60 goals in all comps this season. And I'll go, in between 35 and 40 goals this season for Haaland.
In all competitions?
No, in the Prem. 35 to 40 in the Prem alone.
Do you think we are perhaps losing sight of the fact he did miss 40% of last season because of the emotion?
No, because there's a World Cup.
Post-match.
There's a World Cup in the middle, so he gets a 5-week break to recover, recuperate. So even if he picked up an injury in the next 4 games, he then has a 5-week, as a bad
Norway
one,
not
like two injuries. He can have a 5-week break of just chilling out, being on the beach if he wanted to, then come back as like a fresh new season. If ever there was a season that Haaland was going to break every record the Premier League's ever seen, it's probably this one, because he has that 5-week break with no injury problems.
Yeah, and they say football's all about timing, so perfect timing on that front. Yeah, very unique set of circumstances. Very, very good point. I mean, just looking at his goal scoring exploits over the last 4 or 5 seasons, I mean, the worst he's performed at, domestically speaking, since, let's just say since joining Dortmund as a 19-year-old, 1.13 goals and assists per 90. So I know he's running at, 1.8 at the moment. That was prior to kickoff. I think it was 1.73, which is unsustainable even for his levels.
Is it?
But it doesn't look like... Alarmingly, the drop-off might not be that substantial. Even if it's just like 0.7, 0.8 from here on in, it's
for sure. I mean,
mesmerising stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I think I saw a stat before we started this, and he's on 170 goals in his career at the age of 22. Messi and Ronaldo were on around 50. Which just goes to show the level he's been operating at. Obviously, he had the advantage of starting in inferior leagues to them, but still, it just goes to show the level that this guy's at. I mean, I'd be very surprised if he didn't score a goal a game on average in the Premier League. I think he'd be around 38 as well.
If he did that, let's think he's got 30 games to play and he carried on, now you're saying like 1.8-ish. If he reverted to type and went to a goal a game, let's say, he's still putting up 44 goals. He's still scoring 44 goals consistently at a goal a game from this point onwards. So even if he went under a goal a game, he's at 40.
Yeah, I mean, his average in the Bundesliga, this is the German Bundesliga, not the Austrian Bundesliga, was 1.17 goals and assists per 90, and that was without penalties as well.
And he's
that's non-pen. So yeah, pretty frightening stuff.
Yeah, there's also just which centre-back is going to have I can't see any centre-back in the Premier League getting the best of it.
I can't wait.
We've already seen him against like Nathan Collins, who's a big unit. We've already seen him against Lisandro Martinez, Varane, read the game excellently. Martinez is really aggressive. Like, he just, makes it all look so easy. There's been no opponent so far. Sorry?
Dan Burns 6'7".
Well, exactly. And there's been no opponent so far. I think the clash everyone wants to see is him versus Van Dijk. But at the moment, in Van Dijk's form as well, I really fear for him.
I want to see him versus William Saliba. I think Saliba is the best. On form right now, I think William Saliba is the most on-form centre-back in the entire league. That's the clash that I'm most excited to see.
Yeah,
because they're both similar age as well.
I mean, as well as his finishing and now his link-up play, apparently, his most devastating quality is just that run between the fullback and the centre-half, right? and he just can't be caught. But someone like William Saliba might be able to maintain pace because he's also frighteningly quick. So, yeah, well, I mean, we'll see that sooner rather than later, won't we? I mean, that is it on the Erling Haaland front. But on the subject of William Saliba, we are going to discuss Arsenal's credentials as potential title rivals to Manchester City shortly after this. Like this clip, subscribe to the channel with notifications on, and stick around for that because it's coming your way soon. See you in a bit.